What's up everyone, Kawaii Crew here to react to episode 11 of Grisaia Fandom Trigger. Last episode we left off, it was the beginning of the events of Volume 8. And it was all about the perspective of Patrick and Bruno and the rest of his group. So, what happened was we are introduced to Patrick and Bruno, two teenagers in a war-torn civilization. Basically, in the TFA side of things, they were scavengers. They started off as scavengers, scouring the battlefield, looking for anything valuable that they could resell. And it eventually cuts to them, getting groceries when all of a sudden their little underground bunker town was attacked. They were trying to get to safety. They eventually meet Oliver and his group of little young girls that he wants to take somewhere else. Because the enemy is closing in and all that, and he's afraid of what the enemy will do to them. Because they are girls, they are young girls. So yes, we see them exiting the bunker, into the forest, and throughout that journey, we see the girls just dying one by one in very horrible ways. Especially when you consider the fact that these girls are all of these girls are 8 to 13 years old. So, yeah, young kids, basically. We do see them meet up with some soldiers, but they're not much better off. Let's be real. They also start dying. And where the last episode left off was after Natalie sacrificed herself to save Bruno. He gets broken mentally. He starts picking up a gun, starts firing at the enemy, and then he gets sniped. And he just lays there, motionless. So, yeah. I'm still very disappointed about how, as a source material reader, I'm still very disappointed with how the deaths and the significant events of that episode were handled. The way everything was just basically rushed to hell. And that's why, honestly, I'm pretty much just giving up, I pretty much just given up revisiting the events of Volume 8. I've been demoralized after how the events were handled back in the last episode. So, yeah. Honestly, I don't plan on talking too much about the events of the anime compared to the source material. However, I still do remember quite a bit of significant events from the source material. So I'll still probably have more to say in regards to that, but we'll see. Without further ado, let's just get on to it. Alright everyone, here we go. Episode 11 of Grisaia Phantom Trigger. Looks like they're getting that big ass rail cannon moving. Alright, they're getting it all set up. Shit! It's glowing nuclear radiation. Oh my god. Yeah, absolute fucking destruction. Oof. The two sisters caught up on the blast, huh? Yep, this is where they, yep, they were the ones that shot Patrick. Like I said, don't know why they needed to draw blood. Yeah, those were not Patrick's last moments. All the boys abandoned. Yep. Here we get introduced to the boys that were abandoned by the TFA. Oh, now they want to switch perspectives. Now they want to switch from Patrick's, side of things to Sword's side of things. Yeah, they could have done that in the last episode for some fucking reason.
無駄でしかない。潔く戦って死ぬべきだ。そんなの無駄死にじゃないか。無駄生きよりはマシだ。大丈夫。地雷なんて作動しても足が犠牲になれば
You'll only lose your legs.
どうか兄弟、これはさらにまずい状況であります。この一帯はトラップに囲まれ黒工事であります。やられた。めぐみ、覚悟を決めなさい。
Oh shit, yeah. Oh, it's this scene. The boys are closing in. Holy shit. Yeah. I was about to. I was about to.
どうして君たちは戦うんだ。神の我々に全て神のそばに人は武器も手にする必要はなかった。森を離れ神から離れた者たちが争いを持ち込んだ。君の役目って生きることである。生きて神の教えを紡ぐことである。生きるか。いくら逃げても苦しむだけで結局勇の最後が待っていた。死にたくなければ戦う。それは当たり前のことかもしれない。でも君は間違ってる。神はこの森になんかいない。どういう意味だ。本当に生きることが君の役目ならみんなをまとめてこの森から逃げるんだ。何を言っている。ここは神の森、世界の全てである。この森が世界の全てだ。世界はもっと広いんだ。なんて臆病なガキだ。
Yo.
受け入れがたい本当の現実世界から目を背け、自分を守るためには神ですら利用するのか。僕は先生だ。神を信じてるんだ。僕の言葉を、まだ君の見たことのない世界を一緒に信じてくれないか。
What is going away? Hold. Okay, I am. I am so lost. What is going on right now? Okay, so it's. So it's the same destination, but a completely different path.
僕らからそれ以上のものを奪っていく。損得が無駄かどうかは関係ない。大切なのは一人一人が新しい可能性を見つけるための我慢を選ぶってことだ。これが僕らの戦いだ。まずいよ。誰だ。まあ大丈夫。全然大丈夫。なんか
She always can.
どうしてるかなって。でも元気な声が聞いたからもういいや。じゃあね。もうそれだけ。今ピンチなのに。レナなら大丈夫。私に頑張れって言って。言われなくても頑張ってるでしょ。それでも言って。大好きって言って。頑張れじゃなくて。よーレナ頑張れ大好きだよって言って。じゃあ代わりに約束しよう。まさか約束。作戦が終わったら俺のお願いを一つ聞いてくれるかな。もちろん約束する。それじゃあ大好きだよレナ頑張って。
Hehehe.
私は頑張れる。大丈夫。交代は私の命令通り。今は一人でも多くの敵
Oh, hey, it's Khalid.
伝えてある。
It's Khalid. Or as I like to call him, DJ Khaled.
それでは私は撤退させてもらうよ。みんなどうする？俺は残る。逃げてよかったと思ったことが。ああ、彼らは家族の敵を撃つまでは帰らないつもりだったね。
余計な心配が増えました。私もわかります。あなたにとって誰よりも役に立つのはこの私だということを証明します。
困ったな。鮫島君には先に脱出しておいてほしいんだけど。
北側通路にも敵兵力の侵入確認。次々と押し寄せてくるわよ。
ではな、生きていたらまた遊ぼうじゃないか、坊や。それまでどうかお元気で。
Ah,
なんか気持ち悪いのよ。
Kyosen Sakura Goka, Ukawa, Choco, Vanilla.
だって負けるならってやってくると踊れないじゃん。
その場合引き分け。
Yeah, I believe the dam was still, yeah, it was a big part of both the good and bad end. Yep.
ノイズがひどくて聞こえないのを要点をまとめて。敵がダムを撤回させるつもりだから巻き込まれないように味方を撤退させろってこと？
And that's how you get a message across.
状況でどうやって現場に撤退命令を伝える？やっぱりこっちから迎えに行くしかないかな。
That's how you get the message across with when interference is an issue.
あのダムの満水までの時間は？満水までの予想算出。あと5時間と15分です。
なら弾の補給に戻ってきた部隊から撤収すればいい。そうして最後まで残った部隊を我々で救出する。
おいそこの貴様、こいつも連れて行ってやれ。
こいつは敵じゃねえか。なんで敵を助けなきゃならん。
だってもう助けちゃったもの。ここで捨てたら無駄になっちゃうもの。何がおかしいか。情けは人のためならずだ。いいか、自分のために人を助けろ。
分かったよクソが。
タイガ様、そろそろ私たちも撤退しないと医療品が尽きます。ではあと一人だけ助けたら交代しよう。それでいいな。そうやってもう何人も分かっている。本当に次で最後だ。
おい、ここはもういいぞ。撤退だ。
撤退だと。
本部から撤退用の車両が到着した。
後方支援の我々が放棄すれば前線と分断してしまうぞ。
敵に何やらまずい動きがあるらしい。緊急命令だ。撤退だ。撤退するぞ。
タイガ様、逃げてください。お願いします。分かった。でもクジラたち先に行ってくれ。私はこいつの手当てをしてから引き上げる。よし、私も撤退だ。
Not quite just yet. Wait.
応急処置はしてもらったものの急いで戻らないとトーカ先輩が危ない。
Wait, how's this gonna work?
トーカ先輩きっと神様がまだ死ぬなって言ってるのだ。弾を食らってついてないじゃなくて、死ななかったらラッキーと考えるんです。死ななかったことに意味はないかもしれないけれど、意味なんてものは自分で作っていきます。トーカ先輩は重傷、照準器の壊れたスペアに散弾は一発。
Oh.
自分の甘さが未熟さが招いた結果であります。最後でもそんな。
まさおいおい
Oh.
志保先輩も東花先輩も私の目の前で全て私が迷ったせいだ。
Okay.
気を使ったら変化じゃない。やるだけであります。
Okay, okay. That's an interesting way to go about it. And wait, yeah, yeah. I was wondering. There we go.
太鼓は捕まった。俺の天使よ。
Jonah.
そうか、あの時のお前か。
天使よ、あなたの言う光を得て俺はこの世の真実に気がついたのだ。
なんかお前キモいな。
キモい。なんたる言うって本当にあなたこそが俺の天使。
変なやつを助けてしまったものだね。熊次郎。
なんか流れが変わった。どっちの面かと姉さんの適切なの説明するか。まあ一人で逃げ出すってそうなものだな。別にその味方にしては道筋は強い。このプロテクターができれば打線砲を無力化できるかも。こっちは優先の音声が拾えそうだよ。
Oh, she made her entrance already.
さてどっちが先にやられたい？トムラ、あんたいつまでこんな仕事してんのよ。結局私にはこれしかないんだ。あんたらには理解できないしされたいとも思わないよ。我が命は
Oh, we're getting to the ninja battle already.
切れぬものなし。
Oh, shit. Nice. And Kuroi's there.
しかも玉切れだ。
弾がないなら殴ればいいじゃない。
今だ一斉に撃て。
味方に当たります。
構うな撃て。
Yeah, Rena is not fine. Alright, well, holy moly. That was episode 11 of Grisaia Fan Trigger. Well, overall, this was, yeah, we got some really surprising turn of events, which I will of course get to later. Ah, man. There are also things that I skipped that have been skipped, which still wish they could have included. Even with me not, no longer revisiting the Volume A, I still remember things that have not been present in this episode. Um. Yeah, might as well just go through the preview of the next episode first before I get to everything. Wait, what is? Wait. Wait, is this? Wait. Is this not a preview? Wait, this is all stuff that we've already seen. Yeah. Okay. Episode 12. The Fated Answer. Okay, well, that was... So that didn't really preview anything. That was just all recap imagery. Okay. Well, I already know what's gonna happen, so it didn't spoil me. I mean... I already know what's gonna happen, so, I mean, it doesn't really matter to me. But I'm sure for those who don't, like it when, previews spoil a whole bunch of shit, I'm sure this will be great for those anime onlys. But yeah, as always, even though I don't plan on spending too much time on it, I'm still gonna go over it and compare the events of the anime to the source material. So, don't really have anything to say about the setup of the canon and all that. Yeah, nothing to say here. Oh, I guess one thing I will mention is that... See, I kind of figured they wouldn't adapt this, but I still really wish they could have. One thing they didn't adapt. I know they didn't adapt from Volume 8, and I was hoping that they would. Now that we focus on Sword again, is there was a scene, before the Sword Crew, went into war and all that. There was a scene where Rena and Haruto, they hugged each other, and we saw Rena cuddling and resting on Haruto's lap. Basically, the context of that scene in the visual novel was that they were talking about, they were just getting into some banter before they went to war and all that. A majority of the characters were all piled up into Yamamoto's workshop because that was apparently at the time, that was like the only facility with working AC. But the conversation came into like how, if I remember correctly, well, I mean, I don't remember the whole details, but the conversation was basically about how, love and affection is basically, one of, it's a human's basic need. Everybody wants someone, to love and someone to love them. And that's especially important when it comes to a relationship between Haruto and Rena, or any relationship between a master and an assassin from Hollow House. Because, we all know, I think we all know at this point how much Rena treasures Haruto's love. And it's just a really sweet and a wholesome scene. It really just shows, how great a relationship those two have. Best ship in the series. Really wish they could have adapted it. Okay, it's time to address the elephant in the room. Okay, we're gonna skip. I'll talk about that scene with Patrick in A in a sec. After this. Okay. This whole scene where the boys are closing in on Megumi and Toka. So this whole scene with them like closing in, wearing masks and shit, saying "fight, fight, fight." I don't remember this. I don't remember them doing this in the visual novel. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they weren't just saying "fight, fight, fight." I also don't remember Megumi's hesitating this much to commit to kill kids. Yeah. Okay, so this scene with Toka setting off the land, and this part where Toka's setting off the landmine, injuring herself, and all that. This was anime original, because she never set off the landmine and got herself injured in the visual novel. So, I mean, I guess I can understand it. Why? Because, like, I mean, she stepped on a landmine. I mean, obviously that shit's gonna go. You can't just step on a landmine and expect to survive that most of the time, or expect that to, like, not go off. So, I guess I can understand why they did it. Still a very interesting choice. One thing that does upset me about this scene is... Yeah, okay. So, I'm not sure if anime onlys are gonna understand what just happened there. Okay, they skipped a really, like, basically the most pivotal point. One of the most, if not the most pivotal scene of Volume 8. Alright, so... basically what happened is this. Before they went off to war, when they were discussing the operation and all that, Arasaka sees Sword, all the kids, preparing their equipment, going off to war, making preparations, getting all their field rations and their supplies and all that. And she sees all of her students working hard. And here she is, a civilian, not really doing anything. And she is wondering if she can make herself useful, if she can help out in any way. And eventually, she offers, Arasaka and Toka and Megumi, they were talking. And it eventually gets to a point where Arasaka offers to help Toka load her guns. But Toka, at first, she flat out refuses. And then, in the visual novel, it gives you a choice. Now, this is the reason why I said that this is the most pivotal, possibly the most pivotal point of this whole, of Volume 8, of this whole story. Because, now, in the visual novel, it gives you two choices. Which is crazy. Because, in the past installments of Phantom Trigger, it follows one linear story. Volumes 1 through 7 never gave you a choice that actually gave you... They never gave you choices. And if they did give you choices, it's for shit that didn't matter. So the two choices were... and have Arasaka insist on helping Toka load her guns, or have her say maybe it was a bad idea after all, and just have Toka load her own guns. If you chose to have Arasaka load Toka's guns, that led to the good end of Volume 8. However, if you had Arasaka give up and had Toka load her own guns, then that causes a domino effect that leads to the deaths of pretty much all of the main characters in Grisaia Phantom Trigger. In other words, the bad end. So, yeah, I mean, in the anime, they kind of, I mean, obviously it led to the good end. Obviously, the anime adapted the good end. However, they only showed a small glimpse of Arisaka volunteering to load up the guns. And that's what disappoints me, because because that is such a crucial point as to how Toka and everybody survives. But yeah, it's only shown in like a small, like 3-second clip. It's quite a baffling decision, I must say. Like with Toka stepping out on the mine and getting injured, I can kind of understand that. But not showing Arisaka loading Toka's guns? Oh, and by the way, the reason why, you know, Arisaka contributed to Toka not killing herself in the end, in this scene, is because I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, it was because she wasn't used to like the spring pressure when you load magazines. So at the time, she thought she loaded enough rounds in the magazine, but it turns out she didn't. She thought she fully filled up the magazine, but she didn't. But that mistake evidently saved Toka's life. Also, another thing that disappoints me about this scene is that in the visual novel, when you got to that scene, there was a lot more relief when Toka didn't end up killing herself. If you chose the good end. Because I remember when I first played Volume 8 for the first time, and I chose to have Arasaka load Toka's magazines, I was like on pins and needles after I made that choice. Because I was like, I really wasn't sure at the time if I made the right decision. So when it finally came time to that scene, I was like, oh god, please don't die, please don't die, please don't die. And then I hear the click of the gun. And oh my god, the wave of relief that I felt when I heard that click, when it was revealed that Toka did not end up shooting herself. Ooh, it was immeasurable. In fact, even Megumi herself was relieved. Was just as relieved. Because in the visual novel, she was also kind of like on pins and needles. She saw Toka, she witnessed Toka putting a gun to her own head and was about to pull the trigger. Also another thing, so yeah, you can imagine the relief she felt. Also another thing that was really different about this scene is the boys. Yeah, so in the anime, the boys, they're like, what, zombies? Or some zombies with AKs? Yeah, they were, they had a more personality in the visual novel. In the visual novel, if I remember correctly, they referred to Toka, I think they didn't know Toka was a girl at first because of how flat-chested she was. I think if I remember correctly, these boys actually have never seen a girl in their life. Like Toka and Megumi, they were like the first two. I think they were like the first two girls that they've ever seen. Because keep in mind, these boys were abandoned by the TFA. They were pretty much shipped off to the forest to fend for themselves. So obviously they're not, accustomed to, human civilization as well as, normal people. So yeah, they were a lot more talkative. They had a more personality. They said a lot more words than just, fight and this. So this is another choice where I'm not really sure why they ended up making it. I guess they didn't like the boys critiquing Toka's chest or something. I don't know. Oh yeah, going back to the whole interaction between Patrick and A. I have nothing much to say other than, yeah, I mean, it seems pretty accurate. I mean, I do remember Patrick, and A and all that. Also, I might as well just say this right now, because I honestly don't know. I mean, because I feel like the anime should have already adapted it. So I don't know if they're going to adapt it in future episodes, but fuck it, I'll just say it anyways. So, this anime did not cover Sally, you know, the fate of the rest of the girls. Sally, the twins, and all that. Again, I don't know if, well, maybe, I'm just gonna save it to the end, in case you guys don't want to be spoiled. I'm just gonna save my thoughts on the rest of the girls until the end, until I'm finished with talking about this episode. But yeah, this scene was done pretty well. The whole interaction between those two. Again, anime original. I don't remember them being thrown into a ditch or anything like that. This scene was a lot more emotional than in the. Okay, yeah, that whole ditch part was a lot more emotional than it was in the visual novel. Like, damn, they didn't have this type of emotion in the visual novel. Okay, and I'm pretty sure this is the anime's. This is the first time we're seeing Khaled in the anime. So the anime never touched on the anime never touched on this, but basically, DJ Khaled over here, he is pretty much one of the biggest reasons why the TFA soldiers are suffering so much. He's one of the biggest reasons why the TFA soldiers, they're running low on supplies, not a lot of access to food and water. Like they're barely surviving on their own. No help. Pretty much no help whatsoever. They're pretty much left to fend for themselves, and he's one of the biggest contributors to that. He pretty much just looks at. He's one of the high commanders of the TFA, and he pretty much just looks at the regular soldiers as pawns, disposable pawns. So yeah, he's quite the asshole. More emotion that wasn't in the visual novel. Okay, this scene. This is also way different from the visual novel. But to be honest, I actually kind of like this change. Okay, so let me explain. Okay, so this is why I like this change. So to give additional context first to this scene, so yeah, Taiga, being injured and soldiers closing in on him, on her. That was also in the visual novel. However, it was played a bit differently. First of all, the soldiers were a bit more obnoxious in the visual novel, so I guess that's another welcome change that the anime did. Second of all, I do also remember Chris also being injured and needing saving. In fact, I think that was it wasn't just Taiga that needed saving from the snipers. It was both Chris and Taiga in the visual novel, I believe. So Chris was also injured, but that's not the case in the anime. Now, what's really different about this scene is that in the visual novel, Toko wasn't supposed to be injured, as I said earlier. And there's another choice that you get to make in the visual novel. In the visual novel, you're given two choices. You can either have Toka snipe the enemy, or you can have Megumi snipe the enemy. However, unlike the Arasaka scene with her loading the bullets, this choice is not as consequential. This choice is not as... It doesn't matter as much. Because no matter who you choose, the soldiers end up dying and you still end up saving Taiga. But yeah, in here, it seemed like they decided to just go with Megumi being the one to save Taiga. And what's really interesting about this scene is that when you do choose Megumi in the visual novel, first of all, when you do choose Megumi in the visual novel, Toga, she still has Toga as the spotter. But here, Megumi is alone. Because, of course, Toga's out of commission. Second of all, I don't remember her having no scope. Actually, no, I think they might have no scope. I might need to go back and revisit. Also, Megumi was a lot more hesitant to shoot in the visual novel than she was in the anime. Because, think about how hard this shot is. She only has one bullet, which means she really cannot afford to miss. And she has to say, she only has one bullet, and she has to take out the enemy before, Taiga ends up kicking the bucket. Because if she misses, it's game over for Taiga. And Chris in the visual novel. Also, she's firing a Steyr AUG. Now, this is my gun nerd coming into play. She's firing a Steyr AUG, which fires 5.56 rounds. And those typically aren't, long-range rounds. Usually when you snipe, you use 308 or 338 Lapua or 50 BMG, much bigger rounds. 5.56 is not a big round. So yeah, she's doing it with a not as powerful. She only has one bullet, which is not as powerful, and she's sniping with no scope. I'm pretty sure most snipers in real life wouldn't even consider a shot like this. Wouldn't even consider pulling off a shot like this. So yeah, you can kind of see, but Megumi just can't stand by and do nothing. But still, you can kind of see how difficult of a shot she has to pull off. How much pressure is riding on her, riding on this one bullet that she has. But I do love the way that she's remembering her teachings. And she's, working up the courage within herself. The way she's she's giving it her all when it comes to her skills as a sniper. Oh, man. I really like the way it was. I really like what they did with Megumi's character in this scene. This was really, like I said, I probably, this is one change this is one anime original change in this whole entire Volume 8 adaptation that I actually like better than the visual novel. I'll give B. Burry that. I just wish I felt the same with everything else in this adaptation. Oh yeah, it's this scene with Jonas also saving Taiga. This was also in the visual novel, although a bit different. Let's see. In the visual novel, okay, so here's how I remember it going down in the visual novel. So in the anime, it seems like in the anime, Jonas saving Taiga and Megumi saving Taiga, those take place on two separate areas. But in the visual novel, it takes place in one area. Because how it went down the visual novel is that Megumi and Chris, not Megumi, fucking Taiga and Chris, they were injured in the trenches. Enemy closing in. 2 enemies close in on their location. Megumi or Toka snipes one of them. And the other guy that was with the gunman that was about to shoot Taiga, he was the one that is killed by Jonah. And I remember Jonah was all like, "Oh, did you plan? Were you the one planning on hurting Taiga? Then you are. Were you the one planning on hurting her, my guardian angel? Then you are my enemy." And that's when he, whacks them. Basically, what I'm trying to say is his desire to protect Taiga, and his absolute intolerance towards anybody trying to hurt her. It was much more pronounced in the visual novel. Honestly, I wasn't sure if they were gonna adapt Jonah coming in and saving Taiga, but I'm glad that it did. Because Jonah is a bro. Yep, Homura, coming in and meeting the Ikoma sisters. Yep, I know that's gonna happen. Okay, yep, and then they're gonna save the light spoilers, but I'm pretty sure anime onlys know this is gonna happen. But they're gonna save a big fight between Kuroe, a big fight between Kuroe and Rena until the next episode. So going back to the fate of the nun girls, Sally and the twins. So possibly minor spoilers. Again, I don't know if they're gonna actually adapt their fates. But yeah, minor spoilers. Just in case they do end up wanting to adapt it in the next 2 episodes. So what ends up happening to Sally, the blue-haired girl that was kind of like the leader of those group of nun girls, is that Sally, like many characters in Volume 8, after seeing all after seeing all of her friends die and seeing all this blood, death, and destruction, it just broke her. She eventually becomes mentally broken, and I remember one of the nun girls from, I believe, St. Ailes, they come across Sally, I think it was Vale? It was either Sylvia or Vale, and another operative. But yeah, they come across Sally beating a soldier to death with a shovel. And yeah, she was literally on top of a soldier's bloody corpse, and she is just hacking away at his face with a shovel. Like, she's just covered in blood, and she has this look of like pure unadulterated rage on her face. Like, she has absolutely fucking had it with these soldiers. And I think after seeing the nun girls from St. Ailes, I think she came at him with a shovel, and that's when she got killed. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what happened with Sally, or like something along those lines. Now, if you watched last episode, then you probably noticed that 2 of the girls were identical twins. That was Alba and Irma. And what happened to them? Oh, okay. I might have to put up a trigger warning. So for what I'm about to say. So if you're not into if you have a problem with CSA, yeah, you might want to cover your ears for this one. But yeah, basically what happened is oh god. Oh, I hope YouTube doesn't demonetize. I hope YouTube doesn't put a community guideline strike on me for this. Okay, so basically what happened was a soldier on TFA's side, he was obviously mentally broken, and he ends up raping one of the girls. He ends up sexually assaulting one of the twins. And I think it was heavily implied that he did it to both twins. And again, this is once again witnessed by one of the nuns at St. Ailes. And what eventually happened was one of the twins, she wakes up, she grabs a gun, and she commits suicide. And I think one of the twins that the soldier was sexually assaulting, I think she was dead. So the soldier was sexually assaulting a corpse of a child. So yeah. Definite. So yeah, those twins suffer what is probably one of the most fucked up fates. Like out of all the girls that suffered in Volume 8, those twins probably suffer one of the most fucked up fates. Luckily, the soldier ends up, getting killed though. Good riddance. But yeah, I remember like I was wondering like how the anime was gonna adapt that scene. I think once I learned that the anime was gonna start adapting, like I remember like once the anime was approaching the events of Volume 8, I was like, oh god, how the fuck are they gonna adapt how the fuck are they gonna adapt the fate of the girls, like the girls' deaths? How are they gonna adapt that scene? And I'm still asking myself that question because I don't know if they're actually gonna adapt that scene. So yeah. To the anime only that may be wondering what happened to Sally and the twins and all that, yeah, that's your answer. But yeah, again, overall, this episode did get some things right. This episode did all right for the most part, but it could have been a lot better. But yeah, other than that, thank you guys for watching. Have a great day. Subscribe to my channel, follow me on Twitter, and I will see you guys next time.